Lois. Lois is a board certified hypnotist, certified hypnosis instructor, NLP trainer, EFT practitioner, energy clearing and alignment master, and Reiki master teacher with experience in energy techniques. A multi registered medical professional, Lois has decades of experience in corporate leadership and education and enjoys coaching via sessions, seminars, and presentations. She is an author of several books. Lois writes insightful articles and blogs and is the host of the radio show Inspiring Hope with Lois Hermann. She is passionate about empowering people to release their painful past, embrace the gift of the present, and achieve goals for success and happiness. And her website is on the description. What she'll be talking about today is inspiring hope with positive energy and raising our vibration, making us better dowsers, energy workers, and high level energy healers. Without further ado, I give you Lois.
Thank you so very much, Bill. I appreciate your I'm going to pin me. Is that right? I have to pin me. There we go. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you having me here. I want to ask you a question. Do you know that you can save our world? Do you know you have the key? You have a key that can help shift humanity to be more positive before it's too late. I'm Lois Hermann, and I am a catalyst for positive change. And I'm glad that you've joined me today, and I thank you for having me be here today. And I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to application window. Let's see if I can find my there. Can you see my PowerPoint? I'm going to trust.
No, no, not yet. No,
Okay.
Did you hit the share screen?
I did. We're going to shrink this down again. Here it is. So PowerPoint, make it smaller. Application window. Oh, here it is. I found it. Share.
Okay.
Now, can you see my PowerPoint?
Now we can see it. You want to put it on
I'm going to. Yeah. Well, is that good?
Yeah. Turn it on the slideshow, and you're ready to go.
Ready to go. All right. Well, this is Inspiring Hope with Positive Energy, and I am Lois Hermann, and I'll tell more about me in a moment. But the whole point of this is to enhance health and happiness with a roadmap for hope. My life is a prayer, and I am on a mission, and I'm here to help you to share hope for humanity with me. I'm going to be talking today about energy awareness, and listening to several or many of the presentations this week. Feel like I'm speaking to the choir. You are all very aware of energy, which I feel like right at home with. I feel like I've found a nest of kin, which is great. I'm going to be talking about the vibrational crisis in our world today with a roadmap for hope and some guidelines for living that we can use for ourselves and for our clients and humanity at large. So we all know we are vibrational energy. There's universal energy, there's cosmic, there's planetary. We know the whole power of energy from a macrocosm to a microcosm. Energy is everything in and around our world. So how does it affect us? So Earth is energy. If you were to do Carillion photography, you would find that plants have energy. And I saw one picture once where they had a picture of a hamburger, and the only thing that showed energy was a little tiny piece of lettuce that was around it. The actual bun and the meat on it had no energy. So there's a lot of people who believe that when we eat live food, we bring in that energy into us. So plants have energy. Water has energy. This is a beautiful water crystal. We're going to talk about Dr. Emoto in just a moment. And our air around us has energy. All living things have energy on our planet and in our whole universe. So Dr. Emoto, many of you may know this, but he did an experiment where he took water, put it in different beakers, and had people pray or send energy to different beakers of water. And sometimes he would just write the name on the beaker. So he would, use the word hope or love or peace or joy. And then he would take and look at the water and see what the crystals looked like. And oh my goodness, the different words have a different crystalline appearance. It's fascinating, and they're beautiful. All those positive energy words have beautiful, beautiful crystalline structures. However, he also did words like hate, anger, fear, greed, and those were murky, icky, yucky, because everything does respond to energy. And think about it. Our bodies, this vessel, this being that drives us through this lifetime, is at least 90%. I don't know what the exact percentage, but it's 90 something percent water. So if we're around people who are saying hate, anger, fear, greed, those negative emotions, guess what happens to our being? Our physical, emotional, mental, all parts of our being shifts the energy. So we as humans are energy. Someone the other day spoke a beautiful presentation. Several people talked about the toroidal fields, those energy fields around us, which many people who have the gift of being able to see, that's what they're seeing in auras, is they're actually seeing the energy field around us. And then we can talk about the chakras, the individual energy centers. Many people are familiar with the 7 major energy centers, and then there are a lot of minor energy centers in and around our bodies. So the chakras are all spinning energy fields that keep our bodies in alignment. If you were to do a Carillion photography experiment with a human body, you would see the magnetic energy that's all around us. And so we are energy beings, and there's various different ways of noticing it, regulating it, maintaining balance. And that's the key, is to maintain balance in our energy fields. So, one of my favorite books, and someone spoke about this the other day, is Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins. He actually quantified the energy of emotions on a logarithmic scale of 0 to 1,000, with 1,000 being enlightenment. And he did this using dowsing, kinesiology, believe it or not. And when you look at this, the lowest level energy are guilt and shame. Think about it. Many organized religions were based on keeping people in that shame based mindset to control. Then we get up to the energy of fear, which is where we have been with this COVID-19 situation. There's been so much fear, which is paralyzing. There have been a lot of people who have been really, really devastated with the fear. And now what we're seeing with the riots is anger. So at least people are shifting up. Hopefully, we will soon get to the energy of courage and forgiveness, which is a very powerful, positive energy. So, of 4,000 energies that he's quantified, 3,600 of them are negative and vibrate below the energy, the mean of courage, of neutrality of 200. So, what we want to do is slowly shift our energy up one step at a time. We talk about the power of attraction. His philosophy is if we're vibrating in the energy of anger, then that's the lens we are wearing, and everywhere we look, we see anger. If we can shift up to the energy of courage, and all of a sudden, whoa, we're seeing things that were there all along. We just didn't see them because we were vibrating at a different level. So the key is to lift our energy to vibrate at a higher level. So our world energy right now is in crisis. Would you not agree? I mean, even before the COVID situation, we were dealing with a lot of drama, trauma in politics, a lot of anger, hate. We've also got all the hurricanes, all the stuff going on in nature. Then there's the terrorism, there's the shootings, the children that are having to deal with the fear in their schools. And now we're dealing with the riots. So there's so much out there that is causing our world to be in crisis. So, what happens to the person, the human, when the world is in crisis? Many of us, especially people who are empaths, we're feeling it because we are all connected. So we start to feel that energy when someone is when you send positive energy, like in prayer, people will absolutely feel that positive energy. When you send an energy thought of anger to someone, they will feel it. It's very, very real. So, people, clients come to me with some of these issues because they're feeling all of this stuff and they don't know what to do about it. So, in my practice, I help people to shift their positive energy. I have a mind, body, spirit, hypnosis, and energy clearing business. My whole mantra is to bring peace to earth and let it begin one person at a time. So, how did I get to be there? This a little bit about me, about my journey. So, I started actually with an army brat, born in Japan, lived around the world. I have been to all of the 49 contiguous states plus Hawaii. I've yet to be to Alaska yet, but I've traveled, lived abroad 7 years of my life, and traveled to all at least 30 countries. So, I have been a world traveler, which my family of origin was very dysfunctional, yet I got to see and experience people from all over the world, which helps to inform my opinion of different people. And my basic belief is we are truly all one. So, my first career was in diagnostic imaging. I was a pioneer in the field of ultrasound way back in 76. I was working for the military in Europe and established the very first ultrasound department. Actually, got an RCOM, an Army commendation, for establishing a pathology file in this very first American based ultrasound department in all of Europe. So I have a very strong foundation knowledge in the physics of vibrational energy, of course, anatomy, physiology, pathophysiology, but I have a knowing because of the ultrasound vibrational energy and how those patterns create disease or demonstrate disease in the body. I became actually a trainer and a manager of a very large ultrasound department. So when I put my mind to something, I can really focus and grow that into that world. So I had a fabulous career. Actually, it was a 40-year career in ultrasound. However, my home life, in a word, stunk. I was married to a very, shall we say, disturbed person who was very dark, and I was very, very abused. And I went through a lot of pain. And the thing that I found is when I would actually feel his pain, I could feel zings of pain through me. And I actually consulted with a priest way back when. We're talking 30 something years ago. And he is the first one that taught me how to put a protective bubble around myself and my children to protect from the negative energy that was being sent from this very disturbed person. He also advised me, he was my introduction to my precious Archangel Michael, who I still am with to this day. I escaped from that marriage, truly escaped, and started over, moved to New England, took a job with Hewlett Packard as a systems designer and corporate trainer. And that was another fabulous career where I actually traveled the world with clinical investigations, developing ultrasound systems. Actually, I have patents in my name and was a corporate trainer. And when I moved from Tennessee to Massachusetts, I moved into this house with a 7-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son. My daughter started talking about seeing a lady who would come and sing to her at night. My son was having massive migraines and night terrors. And here I am, all by myself, no support, going, holy flip, what do I do? What would you do? So I ended up meeting an amazing woman who would become my spiritual mentor. And I want to take just a moment because I don't think I did this for the beginning. I want to take just a moment before we move any further and invite all of you to close your eyes. I would like to ask for protection, healing, and empowerment across all levels: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, psychic, social, professional, financial, environmental, technological, and relational, and any other all you'd like to add. I'd like you now to imagine 4 columns of gold and white light in the corners of your space. It could be your room, your home, or your property. And I would like to invite divine guides and masculine light energies into the corners for protection. Now, I often call upon Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Samael, and of course my dear beloved Jesus for protection. And now imagine beautiful beam of light from Father Sky sending down and just flooding the area, and anything negative is just going to be scooped up, and these beloved protectors are going to take it into the light. They know where they're going. We don't need to. We just ask. And as Father Sky sends this beautiful beam of loving light bathing through this our space, flowing down into Mother Earth. Imagine the walls connecting around and a dome over and a dome under, where we are completely enclosed in a beautiful energy bubble. And then I'd like to invite the sacred feminine energy into the center of the space for intuitive, loving guidance. And the sacred energy that I often invite, of course, is Mother Earth, Mother Gaia herself. White Buffalo Calf Woman, I often invite. I could also invite Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, and the goddess Isis. Invoking now the sacred violet flame to surround the space, removing any residual negative energy and acting like a smokescreen to protect us from anything negative. And thanking the collective for assisting with infinite guidance, wisdom, and protection. Asking now to lend courage, strength, and faith to speak with love and compassion, and setting the intention that this gathering, this teaching, be for the highest good of all. Thank you. I intended to do that from the very beginning, and I forgot about it until I mentioned Archangel Michael, and then whoosh, he reminded me, hey, you didn't set your space. So we must create our sacred space. I said it this morning, but I wanted to set it right now in our group so that you could understand the importance of it. So as I was talking about taking my next job, in Massachusetts, which was a wonderful job. But here I have now moved into a house with a spirit. And I met my beautiful Agnes, who came over with Abba, the priest who lived with her on the weekends oftentimes. And they said, you need to learn how to do this. I invited them to clear the house, to, sprinkle some holy water or something. And they said, no, you need to learn how to do this. I'm thinking, who, me? What do I know? I'm probably excommunicated from the Catholic Church here. So I did what they said because I'm a good rule follower, and I lit a candle. I sat outside my daughter's bedroom door and said, Judy, so backstory here, there was a woman who lived in the house before me. Her name was Judy, and she was a brilliant mathematician. And she was involved in a very abusive relationship, as was I. But her way out was to shoot herself in the head in my basement. So I sat on the steps and I had an imaginary conversation with Judy. And I said, Judy, this is my daughter, and I'm going to take care of her. Your daughter is now grown, and it's time for you to go into the light. I had no idea what I was doing. I just felt some chills, blew out the candle, and went to bed. A few days later, I asked my daughter, so does the lady still come and sing to you at night? And she says, no, but there's a little boy. So one by one, I would have these imaginary conversations with these spirits and invite them into the light. And that was my indoctrination by fire into the spirit release work that I now do. So I learned Reiki from Agnes, and my little boy would come running saying, Mommy, Mommy, put your hands here. My hands would take away the migraines as he would fall asleep in my lap. Headache gone. I went on to learn hypnosis and A Course in Miracles and angels. And I don't even know, some of you may know Carl Carpenter. I met Carl Carpenter, this is almost 30 years ago now. And he was big with the dowsing societies, and he taught about kinesiology and about dowsing. And so I had my first indoctrination with dowsing way back that many years ago. So fast forward, I had a wonderful career, and at about about when was this? Around 2012, I decided that was enough. I left my high pressure, high power, high paid corporate job and decided to start my journey as a clinical hypnotist. Now, I hired a coach, and he said, don't tell anybody you do this weird stuff. So I said, okay. So all I advertised was smoking, weight, And I didn't tell anybody about the spiritual work that I do. However, 99% of my clients, we would find something around them, and I just would learn to help them into the light, help the energy shift. Until one day, along comes this client named Peter. Now, I was at a very business meeting, and very business BNI, Business Networking International meeting, and he comes up to me. He's an out of work business executive, and he says, "Do you deal with baggage?" And I knew exactly what he was talking about. He said, "I really need your help to get a job, but I can't afford to pay you. I'm told I'm supposed to write a book." Well, Peter had some amazing gifts. I bring him on as a client. He gets better. He takes a job as vice president of sales. I fell and broke my wrist. In the middle of my meditation for healing, I hear this little voice say, "What about our story? You promised." And I went, "Oh my goodness, I did." So, way back in 2003, when I was doing some side work, I was still working with my corporate job, but I was doing side work with hypnosis, and I was hired to investigate the deaths at an assisted living facility outside of Manchester, New Hampshire. The deaths of the children in the mills. And there were over 300 spirits that I helped into the light, and the lead spirit said, "I'll take them if you promise to tell our story." And I promised. And then the woman who had hired me to do this left, took another job, and everything went fallow. So I decided to write their story. I was advised by many people, don't put your name out there. And I was told by Archangel Michael, you must do this. And since my mantra was just say yes, I published The Spirits of Amoskeag, the Wounded Heroes of the Manchester Mills, back in 2015. And don't you know, um, I've never had anybody throw a tomato at me. Most people say, I've never told anybody this, but I have this stuff that happens. So, therefore, I pursued my spiritual path and continued to help people with a spiritual hypnosis practice until now. And now I'll tell you this next story in a minute. So, as a transpersonal hypnotist, I help people connect with their angels, their loved ones, which is such a blessed thing to do. If someone wants to talk to their grandmother, they can. I just say, well, it's just like they've moved to Alaska. They're just in another state. I help them. They go into trance, and I am the facilitator. I stay grounded, and I allow them to connect with their loved ones. And I am also the protector. I do not believe anyone ever has to re-experience trauma. So I connect a lot of people who are looking for their mission, their path in life with their guides and masters, and they get amazing messages. And I sit there like a scribe, and that's one of the books that I want to write is this, the messages from these masters are just amazing. I'm trained and I do a lot of past life healing. But it's not just Lala, who was I? It's like, how is this impacting my life? So I do a lot of past life healing and life between lives and rebirthing. A lot of this, all of this is all transpersonal. This is the other than the normal. I also do the normal hypnosis stuff, but this is the stuff that's my signature. And the biggest thing that I do is the energy clearing with hypnosis. And I deal a lot with earthbound spirits. I just treat them like finding a lost child at Walmart. What happened to you? How may I help you? It's not chase, go away, because if you chase them away with siege, they just go over to your neighbor and then they come back. But if you talk with them and find out what happened to them, then you can actually help them into the light. And I deal with the negative entities, the dark ones, but I don't deal with them. I identify them, and I call on my archangel friends. They take care of them. They know more about it. I'm just a simple human on this plane. They are dealing with the ones that are on that plane. Anyway, there's so much, much more, but that's not what this story is about. I do know that my sessions are always an adventure, and I love what I do. Truly love what I do. I have no need to be in the limelight. I just like what I do, and I love helping people. Until along comes this interesting gentleman named Gary. And it's now fall of 2017, and I met him at a health fair. Very geeky looking Einstein kind of guy with the crazy white hair. And a little overweight, and he's delightful, very engineer, very, very science minded. And he says, I can't, my mind races at night. I can't sleep. Can you help me? I'm sure. I deal with that all the time. So, in the process of me clearing his energy, which is what I do before in the first few sessions of every client, because how can you get clarity on what is their thoughts if they've got um, hitchhikers hanging on around them? So, I always clear people first. In the process of clearing him, I'm talking with these energies and entities. And out of the clear blue, he starts telling me humanity is headed for the next great apocalypse. We need your help to save humanity now. And I'm thinking, what the blip was that?
There will come a time in the not too distant future when civilization will balance on the edge of survival. The future is not written, but trends can be seen. If humans continue, if they do not learn from their past, they will suffer the same fate as previous civilizations.
Okay, what would you do if you heard something like that coming through your client? I'm really great at helping people to connect with their wise ones, but I've never had them, short of one time with Archangel Michael, actually come through and speak directly to me. I was thinking, what do I do? So when Gary came out of trance, he did not remember a thing. Now, my clients get these messages because their messages are for them. The next time he comes in, I decided I'm going to turn a little app on my phone here and record this. So 20 something sessions later, we have the making of 3 books, and these messages are intended for humanity. They're intended for you. I was just the messenger. My role is to bring the messages to humanity. So these first ones, the Unquietus, were historians. They are the first ones, the first 8, and everything they did was in eights. So they went through this whole process of what these energies are. A lot of the energies, when people are in the energy, the negative energy of anger, shame, fear, and guilt, there are what are called energy feeders that feed on that energy, and they're from the earth. So these ancient ones started giving me information. Imagine if you have the opportunity to ask questions, what would you ask? So they gave us the story of the creation of Earth, how Mars, or life was on Mars initially. Mars got hit by an asteroid, and the spark of life came from Mars. So does that mean that we're all Martians? I'm not sure. So they gave us the humanity's history. I just noticed a typo there. They talked about the amazing structures. I started asking about how were the pyramids built, and they told us that people had this knowledge back then, but most of the time, this amazing knowledge is destroyed by the conquerors. That we can tap into this stuff. Many people have this ability to tap into this wisdom. We need to raise our vibrational energy to get back to where we once were. They tell us that Earth is out of balance. We live on one of the most beautiful blue-green planets in the entire universe. They went into the details of the 5 great extinctions and exactly what happened with each one. And they say we are facing the next great apocalypse. There are 2 potential futures. We must choose. We must shift now. They say that we do have enough critical mass to turn this world into the paradise that it's supposed to be. And Gaia is very concerned about her humans, and she's even more concerned about her planet because her humans are not taking very good care of themselves nor her. She says, or they say, the humans are out of balance. There's too much negative. Then these emotional energy feeders, these are like the bottom feeders on the algae eaters on the fish tank. When people are feeling negative energy, they feed on the negative energy in an attempt to bring neutrality. But the person, the human, must choose positive thought in order to regain their balance. Then, of course, there are the earthbound entities, which are the ones, the people who have died, did not feel worthy of going into the light or had no belief system, so they're stuck in between. Then there are the low-level entities that are from other dimensions. And again, I can tell many, many stories about them. However, the basic story is I call on the archangels when I encounter one of these guys, and just they know where to take them. They spoke a lot about the young souls and the old souls, that we all need to release the negative, embrace the positive. We've got to shift our energy to be more positive. So they spoke about the young souls. The young souls are the ones that have very few incarnations. You know the ones, these are the ones that are just, they're into drugs, they're into everything. They're here to learn and grow, but they experience all aspects of life. It's like a kid in a candy shop. They lack discipline, they create chaos. And what we're being told is there are too many of these young souls on earth. They're trying to persuade the young souls to go other places, but many of these souls look to earth as it's like the beautiful vacation planet. So they're all coming here for vacation, but they're not taking care. And then there are the old souls, those of us who've had many incarnations. And based on what I've seen from the presentations, most of the people who are presenting are old souls. They vibrate at a higher level, they have larger auras, and they're the ones that seek enlightenment. They've learned their lessons. However, we usually come in and have to relearn them fairly quickly. But once the lessons are learned, we become teachers and guides. However, we can become stuck. If we don't take care of ourselves, we become stuck. One of the things that they say, which is part of why it was important for me to set this sacred space, is when we do energy work, we become beacons of light and we can attract negative energies. So we have to learn how to protect our space. And there are many people here who are doing things like that. And that's wonderful. So they spoke about us being multidimensional beings. The spiritual being is the eternal being. It's the one that lives for many, many, many lifetimes. And when someone looks at your aura, that is, you're looking at the spirit, the being, the person inside the aura. That's the physical body that is representing us. I used to think that our spiritual was inside our physical body. No, it's the other way around. Our spirit is bigger, and the bigger the aura, the more lives we've had. Then there's the emotional. The emotional, it comes with us. It starts over in each lifetime, but some of the memories come through from life to life. So this is where past life healing is important. It's also where genetic memories are important, healing genetic memories, because those codes are transferred down through the DNA. And people get stuck in emotional states that need to be released, shifted, and cleared. Then there's the mental, intellectual part of us. We are master creators. We are here to enjoy, to experience, and to create. Then, of course, there is that physical body that we shed each lifetime. However, we must take care of this physical body because it is our vehicle. Many people take better care of their car than they do their own physical body. So we have to keep all four parts of ourselves in balance. So where there is hope, there is faith. Where there is faith, miracles happen. So the collective, these are the ones who are helping us. The Anquitas are the first ones, the first 8. Their children are the ones that vibrated a little bit lower level energy. They have been interacting with us for eons. These are who we would call the gods of mythology, or multi gods of multi-god religions. They're also what we refer to now, many of us, as the archangels. Their vibrational rate is too high to incorporate, but they are definitely here and helping. Then there are the children's children, the next level down. These are the ones like Buddha, Lao Tzu, Jesus. These are the children's children have incorporated over time. They come down to help. Gary is a children's children. So the energy information that came from him was very, very unique and very precious. That was his job, was to be the microphone, the conduit for the message that was to come to me to deliver. Then they talked about the old souls, those of us that have been around many, many lifetimes. And then they said that angels are any spirit, any soul who wishes to assist. However, we must ask. They will not interfere with our free will. We must ask for assistance. My good friend Brian says there are a lot of unemployed angels out there because people have forgotten how to ask. They want to help, but we've got to ask. So, what can we do? We can inspire hope and positive energy by being a catalyst for positive change. We don't need to get stuck in that old negative energy. Many of you know of kinesiology, of course. If I were here in person, I would be doing a demonstration of kinesiology. I actually have a wonderful little video of this on my YouTube channel. I have a lot of inspirational videos on my YouTube channel. You can get there from my website, loishermann.com. And you do know that the body knows truth versus fiction. If you use your kinesiology, however you use it, with dowsing or with arms or with, I usually use a finger lock, or you can say, body will say, will let you know what is truth for you. The body also responds to emotional thoughts. When you think negative, it weakens you. When you think positive thoughts, it strengthens you. Here's a little secret. I know most of you know about the energy meridians in the body. Do you know if you're a hugger and you hug what I call the ballroom way, that actually will weaken your energy? But if you truly hug heart to heart, which feels awkward to most people, you keep your energy meridians within balance. And it's very important to do so. So, as dowsers, energy workers, we are uniquely positioned to assist ourselves, our clients, and the world. This is very important change work. We are here to support one another. No two snowflakes are alike. No two flowers are alike. No two people are alike. No two paths are alike. One is not better than the other. And this came through very, very strongly, is that we must support each other. If someone is guided to do something a certain way, that's wonderful. Support them, encourage them. This is not competition. This is encouragement. So, for balance, we've got to regularly clear the negative energies and use daily energy hygiene. I tell my clients, you wouldn't go out without brushing your teeth, would you? Well, you wouldn't start the day without doing energy hygiene. I have a protective bubble technique that I'll use that we're going to do here in just a moment. And ask for assistance, because these out of work angels are willing to help. We just have to ask. And when someone is really stuck, I do remote clearings using consultants who are very gifted at being able to sense and see other energies. So here, join me now with this energy hygiene. I want you to close your eyes, if you will, and imagine a beautiful ball of golden light glowing in your solar plexus. You guys all know where that is, in the middle of your belly. And as it glows, I want you to imagine it pushing out anything negative. Push it out, wrap anything negative up in little balls of light, and hand them over to the guides. They were all here with us in our sacred space, so they're right there, and they know what to do with them. And as you glow, imagine this glowing ball of light glows through your whole being, all the way up to the very top of your head and down to the tips of your toes. And then imagine standing in this magic waterfall of beautiful light. That light can be of any color that your body needs right now, and it's different for different people. Then imagine that you're covered with a malleable, thick wall bubble of light that goes with you. It expands and contracts, and on the outside of that is a silvery sheen that deflects anything negative. You might even wish to imagine a high-pitched hum on it that detracts anything negative. And then that violet flame, it's like a smoke screen. And you can get this at that. I have both of these exercises plus all of the information I'm giving you is all on these handouts. If you would just go to that bit.ly address that I put in the chat window. So we have to create our sacred space. Honoring nature is important. Gaia says, when you adapt to nature, you thrive. That's what we must do. So those of us who are spiritually aware, energetically aware, the empaths, the energy workers, we have to learn how and teach others how to clear negative energy. We have to maintain our own positive energy and stay very connected to our guides to discover our own mission, because each one of us has a unique and different mission. No two are alike, and that is okay. They spoke specifically about the quality versus quantity of energy. Old souls will have a big quantity of energy, but if they don't take care of themselves, the quality will be poor and you will attract negative entities. So, shifting energy person by person, what can we do? So, they've given us a roadmap of hope for humanity. This is one of the handouts. Honoring the earth, respecting our mother Gaia, getting back to nature, conserve, really paying attention to what's important, honoring all living things, caring for our bodies, making healthy choices. All diseases have a cure, and the cure is unique to the individual. Each person requires different needs. So find what works for you and make sure that you take care of this vehicle that you drive through life. Create, create, create. Stimulate your mind. Do things that give you joy. Be creative. That's what we're here. Spark that creative energy. It gets you out of that apathy. We have to raise our vibrational energy, and we can do this in so many ways by meditating, by praying, by singing, by chanting, by dancing. Redirect your thoughts. You've got to smile, you've got to laugh. You are what you think, say, and do. I have this special picture in here because one of my dear clients was had spent 12 tours in Afghanistan and Iraq, and now he rescues the abused rare animals, and it gives him so much joy. There is plenty. There is no need for scarcity. There is no need for greed. There is enough for everyone. Share what you can. This is not just about sharing your money, it's also about contributing your gifts, your skills, your heart, respect, wanting, believing, and knowing. Wanting is somewhat negative because it leaves you wanting. Believe you can do something, know you can do something, and trust that it will be for the best. Do what you do because it's the right thing to do, not because of what you will get for it. Do what comes to your heart. Live with an attitude of gratitude. Express appreciation for others. Acknowledge and give people hope. Start each day with 10 grateful thoughts and say thank you, thank you, thank you for the best thing that happened as you drift off to sleep at night. Because it allows your mind, your body to relax into happiness, into joy. Be happy, be grateful. And sharing that simple smile, smiles are infectious and contagious, and it's a good thing. We've got to keep the joy. So here's another message. This is actually from the audio book, from book one.
It is not why you are here that is important. It is what you do when you are here that has all the value.
So if you have a mission, but you're not fulfilling your mission, that's a problem. If you think yourself too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. So how will you make a difference? I've been thinking, how can I do this? I love what I do, but I'm nobody. I'm nobody special. I'm not Tony Robbins. How can I get this message out to humanity? And they tell me one step at a time. So back last August, 8/8, because these guys are into eights, we published the Chronicles of Hope book one, the Quietus. And the Quietus gave us the message that pay attention. You must change now. Things are going down a bad path. And we all know this when we look around what's going on with humanity. Book two is coming out 8/8, 2020. This is from the collective, and they tell us what to do, what we can do to shift our energy, to shift each other's energy, to be more hopeful. And I would have you please, please, please make a note on 8/8. That's the best date because the book will be on sale for $1, and we really want to get this book out there. So please go to where follow me and purchase the book on 8/8 because we've got to get this message out there. It's under review right now. It's soon to be at the publisher, but the ebook will be ready on 8/8, which is not that far away. So in 8/8, we meet the guides of the collective. And we're going to go through each one of these now. They gave us the guidelines for living. So Ray, the god of Atlantis, came through and said ethics and morality define a civilization, not the things that a civilization can produce. That we are so far behind what Atlantis was because we got stuck on technology. We need to get more aware of the natural elements around us, of the power of the mind, of truth, honesty, integrity, the power of crystals. So he gave us a lot of information in that chapter. Jesus came through and he says, be loving, practice kindness, connection, compassion, do unto others, speak the compliment out loud. He was very distraught with where his messages got lost over time. His messages were never meant to be enforced, they were an invitation, and people knew that from him. But somehow they got changed along the way. He's asked me to please keep true to his word. So we have Jesus's top 40, his top 40 statements in the book. And I'm sharing these all out on social media. I'm giving this stuff away. And the book is available for $1. So Aurora came through, the goddess of the dawn. Be accepting. She was talking about shifting, walking away from anger, work with forgiveness, get yourself to a peace of mind. It was amazing. The day that she came through, this was the sky when we walked out of my office that night. The sky never looks like that in New Hampshire, maybe in other parts of the world, but never in New Hampshire. She painted the sky for us as a beautiful affirmation. Then we met the archangel Samael, who creates strength through challenge. He was all about, I do not want weak civilization. I do not want weak humans. We learn through the challenges. I would not be doing what I'm doing if I'd not been through so many stresses and so many issues. I have grown. He says we lack discipline. We need to practice our own sense of discipline and discernment, practicing protection also. The spirit of the universe came through. It was very interesting. We just joined one of those universal prayers, and all of a sudden, Gary's channeling the universe, and they say, share empathy. The universe says, share. We are all one. We are one. We must share. Do not compete. Connect. Embrace what each other is doing. Many people are doing good things. Celebrate them. Then Gaia came through, the energy of Mother Earth. Cultivate mindfulness, being conscientious. They spoke time and again about Native peoples, healing circles, and the way that we need to get back to living with nature the way they did. The archangels are coming in book 3, but they said, be humble. Ask, believe, receive, and appreciate. Share the light. They are ever here for us. We are never alone. We must ask, and they will be there before we even think it.
We live on the most beautiful planet in the universe. Yet, it's not hard to see the problems affecting you and me. The planet is warming. Storms are encroaching. Conflict spreads from sea to shining sea. But humankind is resilient. We find promise in progress and the possibility of being born anew. In Chronicles of Hope, Anquieta shared insights to turn the world around. There is work to be done. Be a catalyst for positive change. Read more in the Chronicles of Hope.
And Chronicles, I'd like you to ask yourself, how does this impact you? What is one thing you can do to make a difference? I've had so many people come forward that are saying, let me be a part of this. These amazing people, I call them Team Hope, and they have been here to help get this ball rolling.
Plan a way to bring in higher vibrational energy. It only takes one spark.
So my goal is to be the change. And my invitation to you is to be the change you wish to see in the world. Each of us do what we're called to do in our hearts, in our minds, in our souls. And how can we connect? So I've got the information cards, but I gave you actually the bit.ly, which is a little easier. You can reach me at loishermann.com, my website, and then the Chronicles of Hope has its own website. And then I started an Inspiring Hope radio show, and this was based on Jesus's message that there are more good people out there. Their voices get overshadowed by the negative. You need to shine the light on the good people. So I started an Inspiring Hope radio show where I spotlight people that I know that are doing good and happy and hopeful things. So if you know, or if you would like to be on my show, please reach out to me. I would love to have you. You can call in. You don't have to be here. And then, of course, I have this YouTube channel, and I have Facebook, Chronicles of Hope, the messages. We're posting everything out on YouTube and on Facebook. All of the messages are being posted out there because they were meant for humanity. I was just the messenger. And then, of course, I have my Facebook page that is basically bringing positive energy.
Our intention is to transform the darkness pervading society by releasing the existing hate, anger, fear, greed, and despair. We bring you encouraging words of hope for humanity. We bring guidance for how to live your lives staying positive. If you want to put the world in a positive, healing place, remember this. The act of wanting something generates feelings of want, which is negative, adding to the problem. Believe positively that things are better or are on the road to improvement. This thinking creates positive energy. There is a difference between wanting, believing, and knowing. Knowing is the best, the strongest. Do uplifting activities and simple things that create joy in your life, and think positive, grateful, and hopeful thoughts while doing them.
We have a community that meets the second and fourth Thursday of every month. I would invite you to join our community. Right now, we're meeting at 7 o'clock in the evening, and this is just a place to support one another and encourage positive change. I offer hypnosis coaching and clearing sessions, presentations, and teachings. I have the books. The book, I'm actually planning on getting the books into the bookstore, the Dowsers Society bookstore. They're all available on Amazon. And then my energy clearing and alignment training starts in February. It's an online, very didactic training program that's about, it's a good 60 hours long, but we break it up in chunks. And then I have a mastermind group that continues for a year. So there is only one hope for humanity, and that is you. Please be a catalyst for positive change. Be you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lois. That was awesome. In fact, while you were talking, I decided to buy the audiobook for Chronicles of Hope, so I just
Oh, good.
downloaded it myself. Looking
So let me
forward
see
to
if I can get back. Okay, there I am. Am I back, or are you still looking
No,
at my
no,
screen?
still looking at still looking at your name. So you got to hit the start video.
Camera?
Yep,
Yes.
no camera. Yep.
There we go. Okay.
Awesome,
So,
awesome.
so I know I went over a little bit, but I'm open to questions now, please.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
honored
Okay.
to be sharing this with people who get it.
Yep. So, all right. So we do have a hand raised. Lois Herman has
Yes,
a question. I'm sorry, that's you.
that would be me.
Who's got a hand? Oh no, Nancy. Nancy Chomans. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put her hand down. Nope, I shouldn't have done that. Oops.
I'm glad you're
Okay,
doing that.
I'm going to unmute her so she can ask her question.
Wonderful. Hi,
Okay.
Nancy.
Yes. Hi there, Lois. Excellent. And I have the same question. I'm 72. I always
Yes.
had deep trust, deep faith growing up, hope, hope, hope for 30 years, then lost my health and still had hope, still had trust. And in just the past couple of years, I sure would love an answer about, to me, there's only one hope for humanity. In addition to me, in addition to you, What about the creator? Because we've had like 5 civilizations, Lemurians, Atlanteans, now we're the Urantians. Where the heck is the love from Jesus? It's still, why does God keep creating more civilizations and we're no further along than we were 5 civilizations ago? I want to know where the hope is in the Creator giving us hope, being a good parent, being a good guidance counselor, being a good role model. Uh, All these angels and saints, where the heck have they been for 5 billion zillion years? I'm
They have
tired of
been there.
the,
They have been
well, they're
there
not
all
teaching
along.
us.
Yes, they are. We're not listening. What happened is we got stuck. One of the controversial things in this book, right at the beginning, is they said there is no one God. Humans created that belief, and that
Oh, now
there
wait
are
a minute, right? That's your perception. That's your
nope. This
perception.
is
What do you think? There are many gods?
the
You think
eight.
there's many
Down
gods?
here. No, what they're saying,
In
and
the
this yeah, the book, these guides that came through Gary said that they are eight and they are one. They are who people would think of as God, but they are not creators. We are the creators. We humans are creating this. They created a beautiful paradise. It is us humans that are screwing it up. So we need to shift. They cannot interfere with our free will. That whole
well,
concept of
how do you
so
explain the first sentence in the sacred text where it says, in the beginning, God, one creator, one source, one divinity, whatever you want to call them, one creator created humanity, the universe, and it was good, period. It doesn't say good and bad. It doesn't say there were many gods creating many opposites. It says
and
one
that's one
creator.
belief. And that's one belief system. But if you talk to the Native American beliefs, if you talk to the Hindus, if you talk to different belief systems around the world, they all have their own creation story and no one is right. If that's what's right for you, then that's what you believe and that's okay. And that's what they've said is you have to find what's right in your heart. But it is the humans who have who have lost their belief system, who have lost the energy, who have shifted into negativity, who shifted into the basically childish pattern of hate and anger and greed. And let me tell you, I've not lived a happy, I mean, I have been through a lot in my life, which is why I took a little bit of time to tell my story, is that I now live a life of bliss, but it's by my choosing. I choose where to place my thoughts. I choose how much to feed myself of the negative energy that's out there. I choose where to place my energy. I choose to keep myself protected. And that's what I teach. So we own our own ultimate outcome.
Well, I agree with you. And the American Indians, I'm a biologist, retired, and I love the Great Spirit. I love nature. And
Absolutely.
still look at the position they're in. They're dying of COVIDs left and right, the Navajos. And
And this is where I'm
people
going
are
to
losing
interrupt
faith.
because this is where this is that sort of negative energy creates negative energy. I do not.
There's no such thing as negative and positive energy. It's just energy. It's just
It is
energy. People should
energy.
not assign a judgment, good, bad
It's
energy.
not a
It's just
judgment.
energy.
It is energy, but there's uplifting thoughts and there are other thoughts. So when you look back at the genocide, one of the biggest genocides was of the Native Americans by who? Who? The
The
Christians.
Europeans.
The
The
Christians.
Europeans.
That's
Well, the
right.
Europeans believe in
Conquer.
the king and queen and the pope.
That's exactly. So there have been a lot of different things that have happened over many, many eons. And it's not for us to judge, but what they say is pay attention to what you screwed up last time, do it differently now. Now you have
But
another
why aren't
choice.
they guiding us? Five
Re-
civilizations. Why the heck aren't they guiding us better? Our
Read the
minds.
book.
Why are they allowing our
Read the
minds to
book.
play
They are
tricks on
guiding
our
us.
hearts?
They
Yeah.
are guiding
So
us. And I have another question.
thank you.
They are
I'm not.
guiding us.
I'm not in.
Right. Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't. I mean, didn't mean to cut you off there. We just had we need another time for another question here, and that other question is
We are being guided. We just need to listen. We need to be open to listen and not our own biases.
okay.
Next question.
Okay, someone is asking a question referring to the younger souls, the ones that are living more in the here and now and the lower vibrations, and is it the responsibility of the older souls to gather and nurture these younger souls?
Yes, it is. That's part of why the older souls are here. We have signed up on this mission to help. We are like the parents teaching these younger souls, but the problem is it's sort of like a mother with 16 children. There are so many of them that it's really hard to encourage and coach, and that's part of the problem. So when we see these young people who are coming through, these young ones who are empaths, they are the old souls who are coming in, and they're really struggling because they are taking on the weight of the world. These are the ones that we need to really encourage and train, because they will be the future healers, leaders of the world, but there are fewer of them coming through. A lot of people are saying, I've given up. And so these ones that are coming in that are empaths, that are really sensitive to their energy and to all of the negativity around, they need to learn how to keep themselves protected.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, well, that's all the questions we have.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Lois. This was
You're very welcome.
a wonderful, wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
And again, if so, we're going to be taking a break for lunch now, and so after lunch we have